Hey. Where's the camera? Well, I can't see you. Ah, there you are. Nice. Okay. Real quick, go to the reference.
Cool.
Yep. Okay.
What do they see when we pop up?
This is what we look like.
Oh, excellent.
I want to eventually have like different things for, so like the pajama party, have a little recognizable but legally distinct Buzz and Aubrey wearing PJs, doing something.
Sure.
And then, I don't know. So about your topics, we need to talk about Stanford.
Can you? Okay, I need that to shut up. Okay, there we go. I was hearing you twice.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go off on Stanford, go for it. Let me close my door real quick and.
Okay.
That.
Well, you do that.
You get the dog a bone. So.
Public. Done. Save. And now people can watch us if they feel like it. Oops. Who, Andy? You take over the start. Three, two, one.
My brother has COVID, everybody. I just want you all to know that. But he still showed up, and we still finally found time to record. Sorry about the delay. So hopefully you all know just how much he appreciates all of you and his dedication to this. Maybe he wouldn't get COVID if he ate more vegetables, but that's for a different podcast. Welcome inside the College Fanfair on what is either going to be the best day of my life because college football is back and Auburn's playing, or I will kill myself. I like to point out to my lawyers that was a joke. But I'm all set. I got Auburn everything, obviously. Mike is ready for tomorrow because he's wearing that awesome Georgia Tech bomber jacket
tonight as well.
That's true. That's right.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
This is the best or worst day of both of our lives. We'll get to that when the pajama party starts up.
Exactly. But now, welcome inside, everybody. Micah, how you doing today?
Dealing with a sense of excitement, anticipation, and dread. Just everyone thinks, again, we'll get to that like in the pajama party, but boy, Boy, is this a wild season already. First of
I
all,
mean, come on, that's everybody. That's everybody who's not ranked in the top three, I would say. But anyways,
dude,
stranger things have happened. What were you gonna say?
first of all, they need to retroactively give Ashton Jeanty the Heisman. Like the definition of carried.
Yeah, no, it's nope. Yeah, that's all I could think of last night. I was like, I wonder how Boise State's doing. It's just South Florida. And then I pulled up the game and I was like, holy crap, that was a bludgeoning.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
not pretty.
And
I'm
then,
so. Go
in
ahead.
addition, I take back everything I ever said about week 0. I've changed my mind. Week 0 is amazing. We shouldn't do anything about it. Did you see the Stanford play for the unsportsmanlike conduct call?
No, but I did see the walk-off field goal. But what was this call that you're talking about?
Uh, how fast can I pull this out? I'm not going to worry about it. Basically, Hawaii had the ball. It was 3rd and 9. They hike it to them. And then the Stanford player, he's like a 6th-year transfer, barrels through and sacks the quarterback. Fumbles the ball, if I recall correctly. Stanford recovers it. The player
Right.
then gets up and does a TikTok dance. Gets flagged for
Cringe.
unsportsmanlike conduct. Hawaii gets 10 yards and a first down.
Okay, well, for a TikTok dance, he absolutely deserved it. So, so
Like it was just a thing of beauty.
that's
Just,
awesome.
I was like, this is
Oh,
why
that
week
is
0
so.
is amazing. Everyone makes horrible mistakes. I feel much better about like Georgia Tech, Florida State's run in Ireland after watching Kansas State and Idaho State because that was some bad football.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't really have any major takeaways from week 0 except
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I mean you kind of stole it from me, but yes, Gene T carried Boise State last year. Retroactively, we should give him the Heisman. Um, Bo Pribula from Missouri, he looks good. So I don't know if I don't think I've been saying Missouri's going to take a step back all year long. Um, I still think they.
Um, okay. Where'd he go? He disappeared. Well, while we're waiting him to come back, I'm going to go ahead and bring up that Stanford play I was talking about. Do, 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 do. Hey, he's
That was
back.
weird. That was so weird. My cat opened the door and then immediately the internet just died. That was so weird. That was insane. Anyways, no, what I was gonna say, Bo Pribula looks good though. I still think Missouri takes a step back, but maybe not as big of a step back as I thought. Like maybe instead of 6-6, we're talking 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
He looked really sharp. But I don't have any other major week 0 takeaways because I've been hyper focused on today and tomorrow, obviously. Before we actually get into the nitty gritty of the season, we kind of did this last year. Um, I didn't have time to come up with a bit because nothing will ever beat the Florida State prediction game last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna keep it simple. So last year, what we did is we did this thing where we just immediately named our Heisman favorite, our college football playoff winner, and then the first coach to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just gonna kind of like as the season goes on, we're gonna like touch and go with those subjects and see how close we are. And then at the end of the season, we're just gonna roast each other on how bad our picks were or how correct we were. Um, Everybody else in the comment, let us know who yours are as well. Did you have time to come up with anybody, or of course you did, because you love college football. Um,
I've been sick for a week, dude.
that's fair. So I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Heisman, Heisman Trophy winner, Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Mm.
So it's a quarterback award, 1,000%. But we've kind of seen this shift in Heisman thinking because Devonta Smith won it a couple years ago. Now Travis Hunter walked away with it. So I'm starting to think like, okay, so if they are trying to spread it around and give it to other players, because that's what the Heisman's take a lot of flack for, right?
Yeah.
It's a quarterback award.
And running back.
Yeah, but I mean, last year should have been a running back award, right? But I think they're actually looking at players that actually do kind of make a difference, and it's not just the flashiest player there is. Now, there are several quarterbacks this year that'll be in the running, like, Arch Manning, Drew Aller. I think Jeremiah Smith has a really good chance, though, because last year as a freshman, just fresh out of high school, comes right in, puts up 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, averages 17 yards per catch. And I think because Ohio State's breaking in freshman quarterback Julian Sayin, if Ohio State makes another playoff appearance, I think it's going to be because of Jeremiah Smith. I think for that reason, that'll be enough to get him the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Plant my flag.
Okay, so for me, my Heisman pick, like, this is the first name that jumped into my head, was Garrett Nussmeier.
Oh, spice. Nice. Okay.
Like, yeah.
I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. Okay.
He almost had 4,000 yards, so.
Didn't he miss time last year? No, he didn't.
No.
No. I'm thinking of somebody else. I was about to say, if he almost hit 4,000 yards and he missed the game, that he would have won the Heisman last year. But
yeah, no. So that's like my way too early Heisman pick is Garrett. So that was easy.
Yeah, no, that was super easy. Who's the playoff winner this year? Just no major notes. Just
top of my head.
Yeah.
Penn State. I think
okay.
I think this is the year James Franklin beats the 10-2 curse and finally gets it.
I mean, he beat it last year, right? Like they won 13, 14 games. So the problem is I was going to say Penn State.
Well, there you go.
No, it's fine. I have to come up with someone else. Oh, who is a major out of the box champion? I'm not going to say. Okay.
You could say LSU.
I could say LSU. I'm actually going to go with the different Tigers. I'm going to say Clemson.
Okay. All right. Not true, but Clemson. Okay.
I mean, they've got a pretty... dude, again, everyone watched them get blown out by Georgia last year and tune them out. Like, just watch Clemson. They are a solid football program. They just ran into the buzzsaw that is Kirby Smart to start the year last year.
Okay.
Like, after Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, best quarterback in this year's upcoming draft class. Interesting. First coach that gets fired.
You go first this time.
Okay. You can get a little in-depth with this if you want to, because I did actually stay up last night thinking about this. I said it last year. I'm going to go ahead and say it again, but Billy Napier. Because if by first we mean first one in mid-season, right?
I mean, like just first, I guess. Yeah,
okay,
so yeah.
Well, okay, let's just assume they wait till the end of the season. Like, there's no major mid-season firings. So if we're waiting, if that's the scenario, the second the clock strikes midnight on the season, Billy Napier would be the first one to shut the door. Because, so Deej, was 100% on his way out last year.
Mm-hmm.
DJ LeGuay absolutely saved his season. Like, and I mean, I knew he would too. Like, I was like, put the 2 quarterback crap and just put LeGuay in. And sure enough, look what happened.
Yeah.
You know? The problem is now there's game tape on DJ LeGuay. Now defenses know exactly what to expect with him. And as far as like transfer portal additions to boost his weaponry and whatnot, Florida did not make a lot of moves on that side of the ball. I feel like Florida should have been more active to get bigger offensive linemen, to get some bigger wide receivers, because they got some speedy ones. Don't get me wrong, speed's not a problem at Florida.
Yeah.
But they should have gone out like Dane Key out of Kentucky, big wide receiver. I remember I was actually listening to our podcast when Auburn beat Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
There must have been like 13 minutes where I rambled on about him because he was such a problem. Florida needed to go get him, but he went to Nebraska instead. So, you're looking, and if you're Florida, the schedule, how many teams are in the top 15? Like 6?
They have like the hardest schedule in the SEC, possibly the country.
Yes. And I'm sorry, Billy, but it really is an unfair hand that they've been given, right? They did not ask for the schedule, but unfortunately, Florida's going to fall out of the top 15. I think DJ LeGuay will look good. I don't think he's going to be like catapulted to Heisman status like people are saying, but I think he'll take a step forward, right?
Right.
I just think at the end of the year, if Florida somehow goes 7-5, which is best case scenario with the schedule,
mm-hmm.
it's just not going to be enough. Like the Florida boosters, they have given Billy Napier all the patience and the money and the resources in the world, and he had the 5th overall pick with Anthony Richardson, could only go 6-6 with him. Now he's got another NFL caliber quarterback. Are the Florida boosters really going to let him waste him again? Mm-hmm. And there's like a ton of coaches out there that would jump at the chance to coach DJ LeGuay at Florida. So yeah, again, nothing against the guy. I just think 7-5 won't be enough to get it done. So,
I mean, but considering how hard the schedule is, 8-4. If you're a Florida fan, you have to go. That's a good season. Like to go 8-4.
Yeah.
Schedule. Like you go. Okay, cool. We're keeping him. I would love for your answer to come true though, because I don't know if it's still on. But since we had that Mike Norvell or Billy Napier bet, I would win. So
I would also. It'd be so funny because then I would become a prophet. Because like I actually wrote. So I write for Mike Farrell Sports now. For those of you who don't know, in my latest article thank you in my latest article where I wrote about like teams that could jump up into the playoff, I picked Nebraska, Georgia Tech, and Auburn. Nebraska, I made this joke that I was like, so Matt Rule, his 3rd year at college programs, he goes 10-2. It's happened every 3rd year he's been, except Carolina. But that again, collegiate, right? But I was like, so every year he wins 10 games in his 3rd year. And then he goes and takes a different job. 3rd year at Temple, he goes 10-2, takes the job at Baylor. 3rd year at Baylor, goes 10-2, takes the job at Carolina. This year at Nebraska, he could go 10-2. And I made this joke. I was like, and then he'll take the Florida job. But then, like, the more I sat there, I was like, actually, Matt Rule and DJ LeGuay, I don't hate that. But anyways, and Florida's stupid enough to do it. Anyways.
Fair enough.
I've bought you enough time to come up with your name, so go ahead.
Okay, so I really wish you had changed your answer from Penn State to LSU. Because then my answer would have been Brian Kelly. Like, he just comes out, flounders in the SEC some more. Meanwhile, Marcus Freeman gets Notre Dame to the playoff again. And LSU fans are like, all right, you know what? This guy is a massive phony. Should have clocked it from day one with that accent, and he's shown the door. So, yeah, but
normally I could defend him with his recruiting, but LSU, I don't know if you saw the news today, but the number 1 wide receiver in the class, Tristan Keys, he flipped from LSU to Tennessee today, right before the season. Which, fun fact, that now means that Tennessee's recruiting class has the number 1 quarterback in the nation, the number 1 wideout in the nation, and the number 1 offensive tackle in the nation. So, good job, Josh Heupel. But yeah, so if 7-5 gets Billy Napier fired, do you think 7-5 gets, bless you, do you think 7-5 gets Brian Kelly fired?
Strong possibility there.
Actually,
This is a case of like for LSU and Florida, the expectations this season are very different. For Florida, the expectations is I'd say 8-4, 9-3. For LSU, the expectations is we're winning a championship, right? Like we're at least going to go to the SEC, right? Right?
fair. I mean, LSU, I think the goal would be playoff.
Yeah.
So they could do like clearly we've got the blueprint now that says you can win 10 games and still go to the playoff, regardless of conference championship appearance. LSU could be like the Tennessee this year.
Right.
Now, they would very much so be the Tennessee this year because I don't think Brian Kelly would get past the first round.
That's another team though that like is currently ranked, but whose coach could be fired at the end of the season, which is Oklahoma and Brent Venables.
I was about to say, bro, I was like, Tennessee just extended Josh Heupel.
Yeah, no.
No.
Like Oklahoma though, because like think about it. Again, this has to do with like the expectation of delivery at that program. You come in year one of the SEC and you just lay a massive egg, right?
Yeah.
And so Texas, meanwhile, they got to the SEC championship. They're number 2 in the nation. And there's nothing worse for a coach's job than a rival success. Ask Auburn that.
Very fair. Yeah. I cannot wait for like all of the I can't wait for the unedited cut of this show where it's just like you coughing. Instead of like cutting out all the parts where you cough and it's us talking, you cut out all the parts of us talking, so it's just like 3 minutes of you going,
oh god. I'm muting myself every time I cough, so
people are like, what stupid podcast is this? It was just him coughing for 10 minutes. Anyways, get well soon. All right.
This is a live look at the state of Auburn football.
Shut up. Up yours. Anyways. Okay, very good answers. Y'all let us know who you think in the comments below.
Off the top of my head, we're a legit football podcast. Come on.
Yes, I know we are. Okay, so
with slightly better production value than the ACC network.
And well, actually, I can't throw shade at them. So, anyways,
yeah,
I was gonna say the Longhorn Network, but no, I can. The Longhorn Network. It sucked. It wasn't pretty. I don't know if you ever saw it while it was a thing before the SEC mercifully killed it, but it was awful. Anyways.
Okay.
Moving
on to like some of the games. Everyone's talking about Texas Ohio State, but there's another top 10 matchup that I'm more interested in.
We'll get to that in picks in a minute. I think I know what you're talking about. So, are we doing real quick before we move on? Are we doing another bet like we did last year?
Do you have one in mind?
Okay. First, okay, I've got one that's going to be a little simpler and might actually I can't do that one because they play each other this year. Okay. I was going to say which team loses first. Georgia or Alabama. But then I remember they actually play each other this year. So that bet would come to. We can still do it. We could still do it.
Sure. Who do you think loses first?
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. So in that case, I'll say I will be more than happy to bet on Georgia losing. I will gladly take that bet. And I kind of hope they both like their first losses, when they play each other.
I hope their first loss. I hope their first loss is Bane walks out of the tunnel and just blows up the field.
Yes, please.
He comes out there wearing like Tennessee gear. Behind me is what was formerly the biggest pain in the ass in the SEC. Just
Okay, we can do that.
Okay, all right, cool. Loser has to order the other one a pizza. Winner cannot pick the toppings though, and has to eat it live.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That's the bet. Okay, cool. Now we can move on to everyone. The only reason I think y'all watch this crap, the pajama party. Woo! So,
rock paper scissors.
How about
you goes first?
Sure, bet. All right.
You
For
go
audio only, we both
first.
did scissors. Okay, I'll take it. So if you did read my article, yes, I did pick both Georgia Tech and Auburn as dark horses to jump into the playoff, kind of like the teams that I compared them both to. So kind of like how Tennessee went from 8 wins to 10 and got in the playoff. That's what I think of Georgia Tech. And then kind of how Indiana won 3 games, and then just because they got the right players and coaches in, they won 10. So that's my thought process with Auburn.
Mhm.
Um, I'd like Auburn to make a deeper run though, because they've got more foundation to rely on than Indiana did last year. But so I'm high on both teams' potential. We're gonna find out tonight, right? But speaking of Auburn specifically, um, I really don't know how to swing this game
Right.
against Baylor because on one hand, on paper we've got better talent. On paper we have the better wide receivers. We have the better offensive. Our offensive line has 220 combined starts between them.
That
That's
that's what I was going to ask though, because everyone's been talking about Jackson Arnold as the dark horse for Auburn.
See, that's probably what Hugh Freeze texted Jackson to get him to come to Auburn. He was like, "Hey man, offensive line, 220 combined starts," and he was like, "I'm in," because you know, the more I've dissected the Jackson Arnold story from Oklahoma to Auburn, like I can kind of get on the train, kind of, because I've heard this song and dance before with Peyton Thorne, but there's a little more to that.
Mm-hmm.
So with Jackson, you've got to remember he was the 5 star plus, and 5 star plus. I found out in recruiting, if there's a plus next to your 5 stars, that means you are a consensus 5 star across all the boards. So on three ESPN rivals, everybody has you as a 5 star. Did not know that, but now I do, and now you know that too. So Jackson Arnold was the Gatorade National Player of the Year in Texas at high school, Elite 11 champion, all the accolades you could get in high school as a recruit, 5 star plus across the board. Goes to Norman, Oklahoma, to play for Lincoln Riley because he wanted to play the RPO, the Lincoln Riley RPO offense. Lincoln goes to USC,
Mm-hmm.
does not continue to recruit Jackson. The timeline on this feels a little weird. Oh, he was a red shirt. I don't know. This is just what I heard, right? He wanted to play in the RPO that Lincoln had. Oklahoma abandoned that quickly. And John Styles, the offensive coordinator that they hired, I didn't know this, Micah. He hadn't been an offensive coordinator or coach in like 7 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why Brett Venables ever decided that was a good idea, I've got no clue. It's a totally different system than what Jackson ran, and he hadn't coached in years. And he just got randomly handed the offensive coordinator job at Oklahoma.
Right.
Like that's like going up to a college graduate that just walked off the stage and being like, anyways, here's the keys to the CEO suite at a Wall Street firm. Like, what? So, and then of course, we know the rest of the story. Injury bug comes in. The offensive line goes through 11 different rotations. That's a recipe for disaster in and of itself. He was sacked 34 times in 10 games. Didn't even play full season. 34 sacks. Dude was running for his life. He was also thrown to fourth, sixth, fifth, seventh string wide receivers because everyone in the wide receiver room got injured. And so when you look at Jackson, instead of he put up mediocre numbers, and instead you approach Jackson Arnold with look at what he managed to accomplish despite everything else going on. Bad offensive system. The coordinator was fired midway through the year. That's how bad he was. So his offensive coordinator got fired after trying to fit him in a system that didn't work for him. 11 different offensive line rotations, fourth string wide receivers. Okay, it's easier to convince me now that Jackson Arnold carried Oklahoma, if anything,
Okay.
to a bowl game and an upset over Alabama. It's just, once again, I have heard this song and dance before with Peyton Thorne.
Right.
Because it was like, oh, look at Peyton Thorne. He just lost all his weapons. Kenneth Walker left. Keon Coleman transferred. He did different coach, blah, 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 blah. Look at what Peyton Thorne can do with actual weapons and an offensive line, right? I heard that, and we saw what Peyton Thorne can do, which was not great, less than desirable. You know,
Yeah.
it. So I a couple of differences though. Peyton Thorne was never a 5-star recruit,
Hmm.
and the circumstances at Michigan State were different from Oklahoma. He still put up like 2,000 yards at Michigan State his final year there though, but he wasn't having to carry the team like Jackson Arnold was. So sure, I'm starting to buy into the Jackson hype. It's just at this point I need to see it to believe it.
Hmm.
Like, do I think Auburn wins tonight? Well, yes. On paper, we've got better talent. I mean, for crying out loud, Jackson Arnold doesn't even have to be spectacular. He doesn't even have to be great. He just has to be good. Like, don't turn the ball over, make like one or two deep throws. That's all he has to be. The rest will take care of itself. Like Auburn's defense can carry them through any game. That's how talented they are.
I mean, you have what was like the best wide receiver in the ACC now.
Paired with who many are calling the best wide receiver in the SEC now.
There you go.
So, yeah, again, Jackson Arnold does not have to be great. He just has to be good. But at this point, we have just had such, for the last 7 or 8 years, we've just had such uninspiring quarterback play. It's
Hmm.
just, it's hard to even figure out what good looks like until we see it, you know? So, Hugh Freeze has been confident in this team all year. He has done nothing but talk about how he's excited to contend finally for titles. And it's like, is it optimism? Sure. But you have to remember these guys are like, hey, Hugh Freeze has been saying Auburn is a 3-year rebuild since day number one. Like, he called his shot, planted his flag, and he said, it is so bad here, this will take 3 years. Normally, that's normally what it takes, right? For a
Yeah.
program. But he looked at Auburn, he specifically said, no, this will be a 3-year rebuild. Now we're at year 3, and instead of like panicking or like shying away from the criticisms or the expectations, he's pumped. Like he's like, I love this team. We've got the best group of guys I've seen in a while. Like I'm so excited for this year, and the team agrees with him. So it starts with Dave Aranda, who is a known Auburn killer. I don't know if you remember him at LSU,
Hmm.
but dude was nasty as a defensive coordinator. Head coach, it hasn't been that great, but when he was at LSU, he it was either him, Kirby Smart, Kevin Steele. Those were like always the top 3 defensive coordinators in the SEC. And he was rarely number 3. Like, dude was insane. So when he got hired at Baylor, I was like, thank God we don't have to play him ever again. Now here we are about to play him. But again, though, it's Big 12 talent. They still haven't shied away from like the whole gunslinger only mentality in the Big 12. So I think it'll be competitive. I think it'll be close. I'm hoping that Auburn will find a way to pull away in the second half.
Hmm.
So if you needed a prediction outright, I'll share that when we get to our predictions. Um but yeah, I'm definitely excited. A lot of tempered expectations though. I will say if Jackson Arnold does turn out to be great, well, it's 9 or 3 and or bust. So I'm not settling for anything else. Anyways, that's Auburn, and we play in 3 hours. So there you go.
Woo. That's very unenthusiastic, not because I'm, down on Auburn, but because I'm down. So if I was better, it'd be a lot more hype. This is going to be quick. The more
It's
I
very fair.
talk,
Go
the more
ahead.
my throat gets agitated. So, real quickly, everyone has picked Georgia Tech, with the exception of a handful of reporters, to win this game. Georgia Tech, last time I checked, was a 4.5 point favorite to win this game. When you
Scary.
look at our the depth we have versus Colorado, who's returning versus, Colorado lost to the Heisman, right?
Yeah. They lost the Heisman
Mm-hmm.
and Shador Sanders.
Yeah,
Say whatever crap you want about his jersey being retired and his draft slot. I don't care. He was a good quarterback. He was a good quarterback. So
yeah, everything about this game points towards not just a Georgia Tech victory, but a sound Georgia Tech victory. Like, there should be no reason to worry. And yet I'm worried. Just due to the fact that history has taught me not to get my hopes up for games like this. Like, there's just something about, like, middle of the road Power 5 teams, usually in the ACC, that Georgia Tech just, especially when Georgia Tech is expected to win, they end up losing, right? It's like, Brent Key has gotten us to the point where if we're expected to beat a group of 5 team or an FCS team, we actually win those games. All right, great. So we started to win those games that we're supposed to win. Now we have to win the games we're supposed to win against the Power 5. And this, like, week 1, this is a chance for Brent Key to prove that. To prove, hey, we're not just going to, meet everyone's expectations against the cupcake teams. We're going to meet everyone's expectations against the more competent, more, like, competitive teams.
Right.
And I haven't seen that in a long time, though. And so despite on paper this supposed to be like Georgia Tech's complete like success, there's just a sense, like a gut sense of dread of, oh, please don't go out there and lay a stinker. Please don't go out there and do it like a Boise State or worse, a Stanford. Because that loss was embarrassing, dude. So.
Okay. That is, yeah. I mean, it's fair because you do have to wonder how much of the disrespect is Dion going to use.
There's actually been nothing but respect between Dion and Brent Key.
Oh no, like 1,000%.
Yeah.
Like I know. I feel like if Dion ever got called up to Georgia Tech, he would show up immediately because he loves the Atlanta area.
Yeah.
And so, like, of course, yeah, his heart's going to be there in some capacity. So, good for them for having that relationship. But I mean, the disrespect from the media, like, they're the underdog. Like, I wonder how much of that Dion is going to be like, look at these guys picking us to lose. Like, and there's no better motivator in college football than Deion Sanders. Well, I changed my mind. Actually, there's 2, Deion and Kirby Smart. Because Kirby Smart will somehow convince Georgia players that Marshall disrespected them and that the media is picking them to lose against them and they need to go prove it. And when it's like, dude, it's Marshall, calm down.
Yeah.
But it works. So I totally get you. Just to kind of hype, because if this was an actual pajama party, everyone would have left. This is kind of sad. Listen. Okay. Yeah. So we're both on tempered expectations and on pins and needles. Like, here's the thing, though. I did, in my last article, I did pick, for 3 dark horse candidates, I did pick Georgia Tech and Auburn, though. So to touch on that, the other one was Nebraska, for those of you wondering. I picked Nebraska to be the other one. But thank you, Dylan Raiola, for not making me look stupid last night. Up your game, buddy.
So far?
Quit looking. So far, he's good, but I mean, just take it up a notch, bud. You want to look like Patrick Mahomes? Play like Patrick Mahomes. Anyways, he does look good though. But anyways, yes, I picked Georgia Tech to touch on them. I specifically what I wrote is the reason why this would make sense is because it's a good schedule and a good quarterback. Or no, great schedule. Or no, good schedule, great quarterback. Because if you took Haynes King, he only threw for 2,100 yards. Not a lot. Sure, he did miss some time. But even when he was there on the field, Georgia Tech didn't pass a whole lot. But it's not necessarily the yards. It's about how you take care of the ball. And he had a 78% completion percentage, which was at the top of the conference, I believe. And a touchdown.
6%. I believe.
78.
78? Okay.
According to ESPN, 78% completion percentage. He was stupid accurate. Accurate. 14-2 touchdown to interception ratio. If you took Haynes King and put him on any other team last year, like Southern Cal or Auburn or, take your pick, that team goes 9-3. That's how good he has become under Buster Faulkner and
Chris Weinke.
Chris Weinke. Dude, Chris Weinke needs to just pick a place and settle down. Like, I can't keep up with this dude. He's all over the place. What a football name though. Um, he Haynes King is enough of a difference maker to win Georgia Tech some games that they should not win. The problem is there's only 2 such games on the schedule: Clemson and Georgia. Everything else, like you pointed out to me, they are favored in every other game. They could go 10-2. That's a championship game appearance. That's the playoff appearance. So all Georgia Tech really has to do is they just have to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no quarterback better for taking care of business because he takes care of the ball really well, than Haynes King. And I know that, you lost Eric Singleton Jr., yes, but what did Brett Key do? He turned right around. He started cherry picking from the very top of the FCS and the Ivy League colleges, the top transfer portal prospects. And even when he got Stone, the defensive lineman out of Achilles Stone,
mm-hmm.
out of Ole Miss, junior defensive lineman. I think he's going to fit right in and just be a wrecking ball for Brett right away, like right out of the gate. No transition time. Just so, yeah. I would be very confident in Georgia Tech making a run at the ACC championship game and for that make the playoff. Auburn, not as confident, but again, it's not out of the question because you do have to think. Everyone's like, Jackson Arnold just has to be good. They just have to be good. Well, are you dead?
So, Achilles Stone is starting at nose. I just looked at the depth chart.
Okay, even better.
I mean, split with Matthew Alexander, but
I see. So Mike is sick, and I see him just doing this for like a long period of time. I'm like, there he goes. Everyone, Auburn fans have been like, we just need Jackson Arnold to be good. Okay, what if he is great?
mm-hmm.
What if he actually does take off? Because if he does, now you're in trouble. Because the rest of Auburn's roster screams championship caliber. The defense, ranked in the top 15 nationally, and it's got a couple of studs going in the first round like Keldrick Faulk. Nice. The offensive line, 220 combined. Like we've said enough about them, 220 combined starts. Connor Lew is a future first-round pick. The wide receiver room is the deepest and the best in the SEC. And Coleman and Eric Singleton Jr. Dude, if you just put in like an elite quarterback, yeah, that's a playoff team. And Hugh Freeze may not have been able to get out of Peyton Thorne what he got out of Malik Willis
mm-hmm.
or what he got out of Chad Kelly, right? But when Hugh Freeze hits on a quarterback, it's on. Like I think Peyton Thorne is probably I'm not saying someone else pointed this out. Peyton Thorne's probably the worst quarterback Hugh Freeze has had. And he still got 2,000 yards out of him.
And how many interceptions?
So, shut up. Enough. That's how many. But still though. So if Peyton Thorne, whose accuracy did climb a little better as the season went on, if that's the worst quarterback Auburn gets, then just imagine if Jackson Arnold does take off. Rest in peace, my brother. His screen just went black. I'm going to keep rambling on. So just assume if Jackson Arnold takes off and he is what we thought he would be at Oklahoma and Hugh Freeze manages to unlock that ability out of him, then yeah, Auburn could make a run. They've got a tough schedule. Georgia and Alabama obviously are always going to be a problem, ranked in the top 10 consistently. On paper, though, they should be able to compete with just about everybody else. It really just comes down to if Hugh Freeze can unlock that potential in Jackson
mm-hmm.
and make the right calls. So, yeah, both of our teams, tempered expectations, yes. They both could go all the way. And looking at the offseason work that they've done and what's on paper for both of them, I don't think it's an unfair – I don't think it's an insane possibility. Whereas last year it'd be an insane possibility. This year it's like, no, it could make sense. So there, hype this up a little bit, save the energy of the show.
Thank you. Like
that was just sad. We were both like, I don't know. This is what college football does to you.
We're Panthers fans, okay? They can understand.
That too. I wonder what it's like for people whose like college team sucks, but their pro team they cheer for like the Chiefs or whatever. or it's the other way around. Like
Mm-hmm.
they cheer for like, let's say Notre Dame, but then they cheer for like the New York Giants. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it's like to have at least one good team. Because with us, it's just like,
This could be the year where we know what that's like. You know, as you just pointed out, like
right?
with just a few questions answered, for Georgia Tech's case, it's does Blake Gideon get the pass defense fixed and maintain Tyler Santucci's run defense? For Auburn, does Jackson Arnold finally cure like the quarterback woes that have plagued the team for, like you said, 7 to 8 years? With the if those two questions is a resounding yes, we will have two good teams to cheer for. Finally, we'll watch
And then
as they climb through the rankings, beat their rivals, and have like a fantastic postseason. Meanwhile,
and Bryce Young
Carolina
automatically, yeah, you're like, yeah. Oh,
we can't have too many.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know, dude. Like, if Bryce Young, if he lights it up next year and Ted McMillan just automatically becomes the go-to receiver, Carolina could actually make a wild card appearance. That'd be so insane if like all of our teams
how far
professionally
away?
collegiately.
How far away are you from Charlotte?
I have no idea.
Look that up. I kind of want to go to a Panthers game this year.
We have to. It's been a while since I've been to a pro game, so. But awesome. Speaking of games, it's time to get into picks.
Here we got. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in charge of all of the production stuff. Matthew, his one job is A, kind of thinking up of fun topics. Good job. And B, picking teams that we're going to pick. So, who do you got for us?
Are you going to, like, write them down as I say them?
See, I would have done all of this, like, hours before.
No. We are a professional podcast. Shut up. Anyways,
slightly better production value than the ACC network. All right? That's the bar.
It's fair. And I said, shoot it. Okay, we're just going to do picks. Just write it down however you want. So,
okay.
Who won last year? Do you remember?
I mean, last time I counted up the points, I was, like, kicking your tail. Okay, so fine. I kind of just want to say me.
Say you won. Okay.
We never decided what the prize was, so.
Did we both pick Boise State?
I believe we did. We even do Boise? We? I think Boise State was technically a week 1 game because it was played on Thursday. So I'm so glad. I know that you're winning right now. Cause.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah, by 1. Like, let's see here. Yeah, because we both picked Kansas State. You picked, and then we agreed on everyone else, so it doesn't matter. We both picked Hawaii. Good for us.
Yeah.
And then you picked UNLV.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Which is a shame because, like, Andrew Luck is one of those, like, personalities in football that everyone just loves. Like, there's nothing about the guy you hate.
Yes to that, but also the person I would love more is Captain Andrew Luck.
Yes. That's one of the reasons
he has embraced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, when he came out wearing that captain's outfit on Thursday football, I was like, oh, yes, Andrew, let's go.
So, but anyways, you picked UNLV, and so you have exactly 1 point on me. So, congratulations. Okay. For the first time in the history of the College Fanfair, you're leading the pick race. That changes, though. That changes this week. Let's go.
Fine. Let's start with Syracuse and Tennessee in the Aflac kickoff game in Atlanta.
Well, first of all, what happened to the Chick-fil-A sponsorship? That makes so much more sense than Aflac.
They got outbid, I guess. Well, I mean, Chick-fil-A might be putting their resources into the Peach Bowl because it's still a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So,
true.
It's just peak. It's just peak bowl game. Atlanta-based company, Georgia-based thing, played in Atlanta. It's my favorite game for some reason. Anyway, outside of the Sugar Bowl. Anyways, yeah. Syracuse at Tennessee. So Tennessee famously, they lost Nico. Picked up Joey Aguilar. They literally did a trade with UCLA. Like, Nico goes there. Joey Aguilar, who transferred in before Nico, he goes to UCLA. And then a couple months later, Nico comes in. He's like, I ain't compete with this guy. So he goes to Tennessee. They literally did a trade. So Joey did get named the starting quarterback for UT. Syracuse, I have no idea. I haven't really followed Syracuse since Kyle McCord left. It looks like a Tennessee win.
Well, you also have to remember this is in Atlanta, so it's pretty
Yeah.
much like a backyard home game for Tennessee. Whereas Syracuse, like they're coming all the way from New York.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going with the Vols.
I am also going with the Vols.
Great. So, next.
If Syracuse still had Kyle McCord, though, this would be a different discussion.
Yeah. But they don't. So.
But they don't. Another one where we have one ranked opponent and the other one's not, but it'll be a fun matchup. Number 8, Alabama travels to Florida State in Tallahassee. Who is going to win this game? Does Gus Malzahn have one more fastball for the Crimson Tide up his sleeve?
That is true. Like, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to go with the Tide. I think, like, this is a new Florida State team versus what is a, like, proven Alabama team. I want to be proven wrong, though.
Proven? No. Hold on. Proven? Jalen Milroe's gone.
Okay, true. Except
what did Alabama prove except that they were really good at going 9-3? What did they prove last year except that they were really good at losing to freaking Vanderbilt and freaking Oklahoma? Well, what did they prove last year?
So, do you guys see that, like, the W
they lost, dude,
right down there
they
in the corner?
Lost.
This is where that animosity is coming from this guy. Right down there in the corner.
They lost to Michigan.
Down in the corner over there.
Michigan was playing freaking Helen Keller at quarterback. They were so bad. And they still lost to Michigan. You can't tell
Ohio
me they
State. Like,
well, yes. True, fair. But I don't care about them.
Michigan sat down and said, "Hey guys, you know what would be hilarious? We go 6-6, but beat Ohio State." Like, you know what? It was rigged.
They went 7-5.
They went 7-5. Yeah, they were like, let's beat Ohio State just for the kicks, and then if we end up playing Alabama, let's beat them too. Let's make them both
the other games?
look bad.
No. Don't win the other games. You don't want to give away the strategy. You want to win just enough to make them think, but don't win enough to make them know. You know, so don't win that many games. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as Ohio State rolled in, they were just like, okay, now it's time to win games.
I love this sport. This is the best damn sport ever.
Michigan is just controlled by some mob. They won the national title, now what? We got it. You got to win games, but not all the games. Why? Because you know what's funnier than beating Ohio State and Alabama in the same year? But doing it twice. I don't know. Anyways.
For some strange reason, I thought you said Michigan's run by a Muppet. And so I just...
You know what's funnier than beating Ohio State and Alabama? Doing it twice, boys. But you can't win all the games. They get too suspicious. We need to lose at least 4 or 5.
There you
go. Jeez. Okay. I really don't want to pick this one. Because... on one hand, yes, it's Alabama with a new quarterback in Ty Simpson. And I mean, come on, dude. Outside of Ryan Williams, who really on the Tide, they're without Jam Miller, the starting running back. Mm-hmm. Who else on the Tide scares you besides Ryan Miller? Exactly.
Nothing comes to mind.
Ryan Miller. Wow, Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is the youngest college football player to have his name mispronounced by a independent podcast. Alabama again. In all seriousness, they didn't really prove anything to me last year. It's just okay. They're a good they're a good football team. I can win 9 games. That's literally it. Ryan Williams is incredible. I mean, the second he's draft eligible, dude is declaring and going top 5. Right? I'm just gonna call it right here. New York Jets.
Kid's good.
Yeah, very good. Nobody else on Alabama's roster scares me.
Mm.
No, like they had to hire Nick Saban to recruit for them because Kalen DeBoer is so out of depth with the Crimson Tide. Florida State, meanwhile, sure, horrible season last year, but a couple things. A, it's in Tallahassee. B, they've got ACC refs who will. They might have feared Nick Saban. They don't fear Kalen DeBoer. I don't know how much that'll play into it, but do with that information what you will. But it's in Tallahassee. Mike Norvell did cut the roster, kind of. And
he probably like learned his lesson from last year as well in terms of picking personnel. Because I maintain the thing that happened to Florida State is everyone went to Florida State wanting to play for themselves and not the team, which is why you had like defenders just going for the tackle every time instead of doing their job, holding space, and setting up the tackle for the other guy.
Exactly.
And
then like, you have to look at, speaking of personnel, like who's the offensive coordinator? Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
Who knows how to beat Alabama?
If
Gus Malzahn.
Nick Saban was still coaching Bama, I would pick Florida State.
1,000%.
But because we don't
you
know
beat me to it.
If Gus Malzahn can beat Kalen DeBoer, Alabama.
Gus Malzahn, currently, I will say this, one more thing for your consideration. Thomas Castellanos, the transfer at Florida State, who came in from Boston College, only put up like 2,000 yards through the air. Not great, right? And it wasn't even like Haynes King 2,000 yards, where it was just he was being super protective of the ball. It was just that was it, right? But he was rushing for like 700, 900 yards, 1,000 yards, I think, maybe.
Well, that's still like
the last quarterback that did that played for Gus Malzahn was named Nick Marshall. And Gus has him.
So who are you picking?
Playing in his system. That to say, I'm going to go ahead and just give the Tide the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. All right. Matt picks Alabama. I'm going to pick Florida State.
I'm also going to pick Florida State. You know, I can't do it. Screw you. Screw you, Alabama. You've proven nothing. Prepare to lose. Gus, I still believe in you. I still believe in you. I still believed in you when you got fired at Auburn, okay?
Whenever Gus Malzahn moves to like a new school, his first year is always phenomenal.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, let's go Gus.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I refuse. Florida State, let's go.
Love this
Robbie,
sport.
if they lose, Robbie Alderman, if they lose, I'm coming to your house. Okay. Yeah. So we're both taking Florida State.
Yeah, I was
cool.
I was going to do it originally just so that we would have like an actual toss-up game, so one of us would like take a lead. But also,
I was wrestling with.
It's just hilarious. Let's be
I was
different,
like, who do I trust more? I was like, who do I like more? Gus Malzahn in his bag with nothing to lose, right?
True.
Gus Malzahn in his bag with a mobile quarterback, or Ryan Williams carrying the whole team. Which one do I like more? And the more I talked about it with you, the more I was like,
same thing. I was like hard set. It's gonna be Bama, but just the more we talked, I was like, why not Florida State? Like, let's just screw it.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Okay, here you go. We here at the College Fanfair despise Alabama, if you haven't figured that out yet. My phone just reloaded everything, so I lost all my picks. Hang on, I have to go back in and grab it. All right. We are going... There goes again, as I'm talking. Good. Gosh! Okay. We are going to actually pivot to an SEC-ACC matchup. Virginia Tech versus South Carolina.
Ooh.
The Beamer Bowl. I will say, first of all, I'm picking South Carolina. I'm not... Okay, there's not much. It's Lenora Sellers. Come on. I don't think South Carolina will go to the playoff this year. I still think they'll be a good team because of Lenora Sellers. He is a very good quarterback. A lot there to work with. In the right system in the NFL, I think he could be great, right?
Right.
That's the trick, though. For Virginia Tech specifically, hot seat year for Brett Pry, and I have a big brain theory about Virginia Tech.
Let's hear it.
They they want to lose every game this year,
Okay.
so they can fire this guy because I 1,010% believe they are circling Shane Beamer to take over, like his father did, Frank Beamer. If you don't know who that is, you don't know ball. Frank Beamer was the one who he created the Virginia Tech dynasty in the 80s and the 90s. So,
it was always an honor losing to that man. Also, I love his retirement story.
Yeah, just one day he was
woke
like,
up and was like, you know what, I want to retire. This is my last season.
He just was looking like, why am I still doing this?
Yeah.
Very fair. Good job, Big Frank. Okay. Let's get a little exciting. Let's just go ahead and...
By the way, we're both picking South Carolina, right?
Okay, yeah. So
next.
So the official Bring Shane Beamer to Virginia Tech tour starts at Virginia Tech with Shane Beamer curb stomping his father's hard work. Next, top 5, Texas, Ohio State. First of all, whoever set this up as a noon kickoff is a criminal and needs to be locked up.
Right.
So, but whatever, here we are, kicking off at noon. Texas at Ohio State.
Someone has to lose this game.
Yes.
That's the crazy part. Someone has to lose this game. And has there ever been a time when number 1 and number 2 have played each other in week 1?
Well, technically, thanks to the AP poll, this is number 1 and number 3. But if you go by coaches, yeah, number 1 and number 2. No, it's unprecedented. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. On paper, both teams should win this game. Like Texas, go down the list. Arch Manning, AJ Hill, mm-hmm. Whoever that linebacker is. Not Isaiah Bond, Ryan Wingo at wideout. You go down Ohio State's list. They've got Jeremiah Smith coming back, my Heisman predicted candidate. They've got, I know Julian Saint's a freshman. He looks really, really, really good. Do you remember Trevor Lawrence as a freshman at Clemson?
Oh yeah.
I've heard word out of camp that's what he looks like right now.
Nice.
Ohio State lost a ton of talent to the draft, but Ohio State is basically Alabama North. Mm-hmm. They just reload every year. On paper, both of these teams should win this game. Ohio State's getting a lot of credit because of home field advantage. I would like to point out the last time Texas marched into a Big Ten environment against a top 15 defense, it was Michigan last year, and they blew them out of the water. Mm-hmm. Also, I like Arch Manning's experience more than Julian Saint's. So give me Texas.
Darn. Because I was going to go Texas too. I think I like Texas's defense more, and I think that's going to be the thing that decides this game is defense. Defense wins championships.
No, if it's defense, I like Ohio State's more because of Caleb Downs, the safety, right? It's just, I agree with you. Defense does win championships, but I think.
Oh, there he goes. He has angered the football gods, and they have cut off his internet. So, as evidenced here, Texas does in fact have the better defense. So I'm justified in my pick. Or at least my reasoning for my pick. Do. 3, 2, 1. And he's still not back. So, darn. Come on, man. Up.
I have no idea why I keep doing that. But yeah, so I'm taking Texas.
Chat, it was because you've angered the football gods, so and they cut your internet.
I'll do it again. Anyways.
All right. Next.
Oh, so you did take Ohio State though?
No, I took Texas.
So we're both taking Texas.
Yes, and the biggest loser here is my friend Mark, who sadly has to give up on free tickets to go see this game.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Rip, buddy.
Rest in peace, my guy. Anyways, that was weird. I don't know why I said it like that.
I mean, you've never met him, and I hope you do one day, just because he hates Auburn and is an Ole Miss fan. So
I never want to meet this guy ever again. No, just kidding.
Mark, he also loves Anne Boleyn, though. So
he's forgiven. We're gonna move right along. So that's obviously one of the big ones, but we've actually got 3 in the top 10. That's one of 3. We're gonna just keep the train moving. LSU and Clemson.
Now, someone has to win this game.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Clemson. I'm sorry, Brian Kelly. He doesn't do openers. He just does not do openers.
Neither does Dabo. Like, both of these teams are historic at losing their week 1 games. That's why I said someone has to win this.
Bro, you actually got a great point there. As you think about that. Australia Mets now out because he's stressed. Crap. I'm gonna stick with Clemson. I'm gonna stick with Clemson just because Dabo does have a championship ring.
Good, because I'm going LSU. Because
let's go.
Don't think Clemson's as good as everyone says they are. All right, like they're good. I just don't think. Like we talked about this last week. I am not as high as Clemson as everyone else is.
Well, you shouldn't be in charge of this podcast then, because that just means you don't know ball. Clemson's good, dude.
They're good. I just don't think they're as good as everyone thinks they are. And we're going to find out tomorrow.
When they drag LSU through the mud.
Yes. That means nothing. Both teams just have a habit of losing their week 1 games, regardless of how good they are. But someone has to win, which is crazy. This is the best season ever.
All right. Speaking of the best
someone has to lose Texas, Ohio State. Someone has to win LSU, Clemson. So what's next?
So it's the best opening week in college football because we have a third top 10 matchup, Notre Dame and Miami.
Woo! I was already writing it down.
Notre Dame?
Like the game and the sheet. I knew you were doing like Clemson LSU next, and I also knew you were doing Notre Dame Miami next. This is Saturday's going to be so much fun.
Dude, I'm starting today. I've got like pizza, I've got wings, I've got beer, I've got like beef skewers with bacon wrapped around them. Like I'm getting started today. I will eat whatever's left tomorrow. As I watch Lee Corso in his final headgear pick. Shout out, Big Dog. Big Dog. Rip Lee Corso. He's not dead. He's just leaving college football. So this is a tricky one because on the one hand, I do like Notre Dame and their returning personnel. Riley Leonard, their quarterback last year, is not among those returning. But Marcus Freeman, sure, you take out a Northern Illinois University loss here and there. He's actually a really good play caller. Mm-hmm. He does know how to call a good defense. And then on the other hand, Miami, they replaced the Heisman hopeful Cam Ward with Carson Beck. And I'm sorry, it's just Carson, he has a lot to prove this year. Mm-hmm. I had him at quarterback 3 a couple of years ago. And it wasn't just he dropped out of the top 3. He plummeted out of everybody's ranking. It wasn't just me. It was multiple draft analysts. Just free fall. So he's got a lot to prove. I don't think Miami's the best place for him to try to get back in the top 5. Maybe the top 10. If it wouldn't shock me if Carson Beck, I have him at 15 right now. That's where I have him in my rankings. It wouldn't shock me if at the end of the year you're like, hey, Carson Beck's going to be number 10 or number 9. I'd be like, yeah, cool. I'll agree with that. I think that's a late season discussion, though. Mm-hmm. I really think Miami's going to feel the weight of losing not just Cam Ward, but also Xavier Restrepo, his favorite wide receiver target. A couple of cats they had on the defense are gone. I think this is like a Notre Dame touchdown game
Yeah,
where market. Yeah.
I'm also going like Notre Dame. I just feel like we're gonna have an Ashton Gene T Boise State situation where everyone realizes just how carried Miami was by Cam Ward.
Yeah.
So
So
at least we have one game so far where we disagree.
yeah. I mean, Carson Beck again, going back to Beavis and Butthead just one more time. It's not that like I feel like you just need to put him with the right personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he has a Brock Bowers and a Lad McConkey, he's great. That's why he was quarterback 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's nobody like that at Miami. And I would love to sit down with him and be like, why did you pick Miami? If the goal was to save your draft stock. Like he could have done the ultimate thing to piss us both off and transferred to Auburn. I'd have been like, oh, you son of yeah. Anyways, but
All right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Next.
I'll be completely honest with you. I got so caught up in the discourse between Texas and freaking Ohio State. I didn't really look to see. I mean, the rest are a bunch of like games. We have like what 3 left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. UTSA versus Texas A&M.
4.
UTSA UTSA versus Texas A&M.
Aggies.
Aggies, yeah, 1,000%. New Mexico versus Michigan.
Ooh. Michigan.
Yeah, I was like, come on, dude. Georgia State versus Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I was like, are you really thinking about this? Then again, Georgia State has a tendency to show up versus SEC opponents.
Same thing with New Mexico.
Hey, yeah. Because they took Auburn to the wire a couple of years ago with Bo Nix. They beat Vanderbilt last year. They beat Tennessee 2 years, 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago.
That's why I was hesitant. I was like, oh, that's like Northern Illinois team.
That's
very
the
pesky.
team.
Yeah.
That is the team. You know, why are we still scheduling Georgia State? Stop scheduling them. No, Ole Miss. For 1,000% it's going to be Ole Miss.
Okay. And then last 2 spots, Georgia Tech and Auburn. Call their games.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Georgia Tech versus Colorado.
I mean, I'm a homer, so I'm going with the Yellow Jackets. I don't think I can like actually pick against my team. Is it unprofessional? Sure, but I love them too much, so
I can pick against my team, and the last 2 times that I did, Auburn won the game. But I don't feel the need to do that. I'm also going to take Georgia Tech, first of all.
yeah.
Second of all, when it comes to Auburn Baylor, again, Sawyer Robertson, proven quarterback at Baylor. Dave Aranda, menace on the defensive side of the ball. What does Dave Aranda look like? Dude just looks like somebody. I'm sorry. Anyways, like a card. I don't know. I really don't know. He looks like Django Fett.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he looks like. Anyways, yeah, menace to society with his defensive play calling. I really think Auburn's got the better team on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to sit there and be like, yeah, but what if Jackson Arnold does take off? It'd be really good. So, Auburn.
Okay. I mean, Georgia
Armed
Tech.
by Fitty.
I will also take Auburn just because Jackson Arnold's the only big question, and he could easily be good enough. He could also just be good. He could also be great. But I'll also pick Auburn for the game theory aspect. That way, if I'm wrong about LSU Clemson, I'm only behind you by 2 points, and I can easily make that up later. So,
I think of Jackson Arnold, and it's going to sound slightly disrespectful to him. I think of like the Family Guy meme, or like, hey Peggy, it's my dog. Hey sweet girl.
who does
I
Peggy
think in
pick?
the Family Guy, who do you pick? Auburn or Baylor?
Baylor.
She picks outside. That's who she picks. So, okay, sweet girl.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll get to the meme later. It's that meme where like they win a boat, like a free boat,
Mm-hmm.
and they go in there like, all right, here's your boat. Or if you didn't want the free boat, you could have this mystery box, which could be anything. And Lois is like, that's stupid. We're gonna take the boat. And Peter's like, hang on a second, Lois. A boat's a boat, but a mystery box can be anything. It can even be a boat. We'll take the box. And it's like, it's nothing in the box
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like Jackson Arnold is the mystery box. Hugh Freeze could have gone out and gotten Malik Murphy or Caden Salter, anybody else in the transfer portal. He was like, wait a minute. Caden Salter's a Caden Salter, but a Jackson Arnold could be anything. Could even be a Caden Salter.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Rooting for you, buddy. Hopefully hopefully it works out. We'll find out tonight because that's when it kicks off. Micah, where can people find you and find us?
If you're watching, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, leave a like if you feel like it. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at NotMicha. What about you, Matt?
I'm also on Twitter at The Barning Man. Peggy is not on Twitter. She's just said on my last nerve. I know we're getting out. You can follow us along right here all season long. Now we don't have to say off season, all season long. As college football kicks off tonight for more bad opinions, bad jokes, and ball talk. We'll catch you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.